It's so Nope. Everybody wants to be a master.
Come on, no. Yes! Yeah! Oh yeah, I won! Eat it, crazy hand! Eat it! Yes! Oh man! Can't wait for this game to come out on Wii U. Seriously, there's so much stuff going down on Friday. We got the Gen 3 remix, we got Smash Bros. For Wii U, new Vanguard structure decks. Oh, I am so hyped. I wonder if there's anything on the internet about this. Looks like Senpai's posted a couple of videos. Let's see what it's all about.
So, this calls for a celebration! Considering Sapphire was the first Pokemon game I first played as a kid. So, sit back, relax, and enjoy as we go through some short Pokefanfic reviews once per week. That's right, one vid per week for the entire month of November. This, Minasan, is what I like to call Pokevember.
Wait, what? Senpai's doing a Pokemon review month and he didn't invite me to guest star? This is outrageous! I've been a loyal Pokemon fan since Generation 2, and yet he's not letting me in the reviews? Well, we're gonna have to change that.
Konnichiwa, Minasan. What about KKD Cinnabon? And we have come to the third review of Pokevember. Meaning only 2 more reviews to go this month, including this one. Not only that, but I also got my copies of Pokemon Ores. Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire? Well, technically, Omega Ruby belongs to my Ruby, so that's not the point. The point here is that Wait, what? Huh?
What? Sanjo!
Dude, ow! Ow! Oh, oh. Ow! Jeez. Again, Kohai? Jeez. I thought Hinata would have warned me about you dropping in unannounced.
I bypassed Hinata's security system with my sonic screwdriver. Anyways, how could you not have a Pokemonth without me?
You didn't ask.
That's actually a really good point. Well, since it's around the time of Omega Ruby... No, not that Ruby! And Alpha Sapphire! Seriously? Senpai, you need to fix Hinata's picture system.
Hey, whoa! Don't blame me, man. System's been like that before she showed up. Don't you remember episode 1?
He focuses on Takua from the Bionicle universe. No, not that Takua. Wait. Well, I guess it kinda is the same Takua. But we're talking about a pony version of that. Close enough, I guess.
Right. Anyways, with the release of ORAS, I think it's time that I lay down my 2 cents for the game series I love so much by us reviewing a fanfic I personally created, Pokemon: A New Journey, which I admit I need to get back to working on.
Don't feel too bad. The first 2 stories are kinda in the same boat. Remember, I worked on those 2 as well, and I need to get back to them with Pika, but they were on hold for various reasons.
Same thing with a certain police-related fanfic?
Ugh. Why do people keep reminding me of older projects when I'm busy with current ones?
As much as I'd like to continue working on our triple superhero time fanfictions revolving around a Bionicle-related Sentai, magical girl humanized versions of the main six, and a video game motif Kamen Rider, you should at least take some time into doing some of your other fan fictions.
Not my fault school and a lack of interest is keeping me busy.
Anyways, enough stalling. It's Pokemon time!
A kid from Palatown with a brand new world to see. Don't know what's ahead, but it won't get the best of me. There's so much to learn and battles to be won. I've advanced so far and still there's always more to come. Take a step and I'm on my way. Gotta start all over again.
So, Pokemon A New Journey. It's been a while since I started this project.
So, how long ago are we talking exactly?
It was originally posted on my 1-year anniversary of being on fanfiction. It's been almost a year since I last worked on it. I guess the Pokemon craze kind of left me a bit. Strange, because I've been a fan for almost 10 years now.
You've been a fan for about a decade? How'd you get into the franchise? Might I ask?
Well, that is quite the tale to be had. Humorously enough, I was born the same year Pokemon first released in Japan, 1995. However, it wasn't until 2001 or 2002 when I started getting into the anime. Before that, my cousin was a big fan of the games, and I remember hanging out at my cousin's house, playing the mini games from Pokemon Stadium 2 with them. That is before my uncle sold their N64.
So, you got into Pokemon based on that?
Well, it was more than just that. At the time, I was just getting into video games, but I didn't own a GameCube back then. Instead, my fondest memories were with the original Xbox. Instead of Mario and Link shaping my childhood, it was a quirky little cat named Blinks and his time-manipulating adventures. The Blinks the Time Sweeper games may have a special place in my heart, but nothing, and I mean nothing, could compare to when I first learned of the Pokemon games into their 8-bit glory, which started with Generation 2 and Pokemon Silver.
Funny. A friend of mine got me hooked into the anime first, close to when the series got started. But it wasn't until Ruby and Sapphire was released, when I had a GBA, that I finally got into the series. So, while I didn't get the games right off the bat, Gen 3 was my starting point.
Ironically, I played Pokemon Silver, and yes, that is part of what based my name. Around the time Gen 3 was coming out. It was a Christmas present that was given to my brother, who wasn't into Pokemon at the time.
Ouch.
Honestly, I love my family, but they can be dense when it comes to picking out Christmas gifts. I want Mario Kart DS for my new DS that I got for my 13th birthday. Give it to my brother. I want the Thunder Source Megazord because I was into Power Rangers Dino Thunder at that point. Give it to my brother. I want the Dino Stegazord because I want to get more play out of my Thunder Source Megazord. Give me another Thunder Source Megazord instead! Ugh. At least I got Blinks 2 as a Christmas present for 1 year. That was one Christmas that I'll always remember.
That was a bit of a tangent.
Sorry, I'm just upset that the Blink series never really took off, and a game series that I personally loved hasn't had a sequel in 10 years. There was so much potential, and nothing came out of it.
Oh. Sorry.
It's fine. At least we still have Blinks having a minor role in Kamen Rider Sega. That's always good. Anyways, so, Pokemon A New Journey is about Jacob Crimson, a 12-year-old boy based off everyone's favorite silent protagonist, Red. He is a young man who can talk to Pokemon, and with his companions Volt the Pikachu and Flare the Charmander, he sets out to explore the Kanto region and take on the Indigo League.
Well, I guess you could say it's a Pokemon retelling with an OC being able to talk to Pokemon. Never actually thought of it like that. So, what's the rating for this thing? And do you know how many reviews, faves, and follows you got for it?
Like in the Pokemon games, this fanfic is rated E10 for ages 10 and up, or K+ in fanfic terms. It has 6 reviews, 4 faves, 4 follows, and, counting the prologue, 4 chapters so far. So many 4s in this. One more in each, and we could call in Kamen Rider 5s.
Hey, at least we didn't get the 666.
Boy, don't jinx it. Anyways, while Jake is in essence an OC, he's mainly based off Red in multiple aspects, including appearance, personality, and his role in future fanfics. If I ever get around to writing them.
Huh? What do you mean?
Well, as of now, I've planned multiple arcs based on the 6 main regions, as well as the Sevi Islands, with Jake being the main protagonist in a few of them, but there will also be characters introduced in the other arcs, based off of the characters from the games.
Sheesh! That's a lot of potential chapters, considering how large each region is, and a lot to bring into consideration. You sure you don't need any backup for this series?
Let's finish up superhero time first, then we'll talk. Anyways, what I have written, I've gotten up to Mount Moon completed, with Jake facing off against Brock and getting the Boulder Badge in Chapter 2, and added in a bit that wasn't in the games of Team Rocket taking over Mount Moon and harvesting Moonstones in Chapter 3.
Wow. That's a lot more than what I normally cover on this show. Normally, I just skim over it so the audience can read the story themselves.
It helps people catch up with my fanfic before I start continuing it for reals. In fact, I do have Chapter 4 already completed, but I kind of forgot it for a little while. Then again, I was busy focusing on graduating high school and other stuff when that came around.
Okay. Well, I have no comment here.
Anyways, enough beating around the bush. Let's get right to your Easy Rider knockoff section, your hits and misses.
Dude, I already pointed that out in week 1. Don't remind me of that little joke.
Dude, you have a zoned copy of yourself who reminds me of Kintaros in a sense, similar to with Rage Rider and Suave Rider being Momotaros and Urotaros. You also have an AI program like HAL, pros and cons. Honestly, I'm surprised you haven't said fanfiction faithful yet.
Doesn't roll off the tongue as well as Toku Faithful.
Yeah, you got a point there. Honestly, it does sound a bit dumb now that I think of it.
Let's just move on with the hits and misses before you keep comparing me to Easy Rider.
Okie dokie dokie. Hit station, stop till.
The characters being able to talk to Pokemon. Think about it for a moment. Pokemon have their own cries, and for the most part, don't talk. However, this is different. There are characters in this story who can talk to their Pokemon, and in their ears, the Pokemon talk like people. This is a plus, especially considering how the characters in the anime can understand Pikachu in a lot of cases, even when he doesn't try to use body language in order to help explain anything. Part of me here is thinking that the Pokemon are like Pokemon Mystery Dungeon characters when I see Pokemon speak English. But knowing that this is a main series story, and that only certain characters can hear them, that's a plus. If everyone could hear them, it would just seem strange.
Yeah, the main idea of that was that Jake's heart is pure enough that he's able to connect with the hearts of Pokemon. allowing communication. There are probably other people who have these gifts in the Pokemon universe that I created, but for now, all we have is Jake and Casey, who represent the male and female protagonists from Gen 1, and they have this vote.
Well, this is more of a nitpick than anything else. But I'd say the lack of disclaimers in this story is a miss.
Really, Senpai? Honestly, I never put disclaimers in my fanfics back then, because I felt that my audience wasn't stupid and they would start suing me over copyright infringement. Why in the ever-loving thighs would this be a miss?
Hey, sorry. Hey, sorry. Hey, sorry. But like I said, it's more of a nitpick than anything. You know as well as I that any material used for fanfictions are not owned by the authors. So I always feel that I have to have the disclaimers up just to avoid anyone suing me. But again, it's a nitpick, so some could call it a neutral point. But it bugs me enough to make it a miss. And trust me, with what little there was of this story, finding a miss to balance out the positives was a tough thing to do.
Okay, fair enough. Still, don't expect me to use disclaimers in my solo projects, okay? People are smart enough to know what a fanfiction is.
I understand. Again, it's only a nitpick, but I won't expect you to add them now. The comparisons and references to official Pokemon works. Now, of course, there's multiple incarnations of the same franchise in different pieces of media. And it's nice to see both the anime and games referenced in it. Also, I also may have seen bits of the manga, though I could be mistaken. And when Jake met Brock, I clearly saw inspiration from the Pokemon Origins movie in it. Overall, the references are very much welcome in the story overall.
Well, considering I've been a Pokemon fan for nearly 10 plus years now, I've seen a lot of different sources for Pokemon related media. From the games, to the anime, to some extent to the manga, to the cards, to whatever that is. So, of course, I'd throw in minor references to all different types of Pokemon media, like restyling Jesse and James to be a mix of their anime and their manga counterparts, while adding a level of badass all their own, and how Jake met Brock, as well as some of the battle tactics that he used. The list goes on and on. It kind of makes this fanfiction like what I feel fanfiction is supposed to be, basically a love letter to the topic that's being written about. Heck, that's why we put so many references and jokes into our Kamen Rider and Super Sentai fanfictions, right, Senpai?
True. Oh, so very true. I can understand this may be annoying to some, but for me, references I get are always a plus. The retelling of the original Pokemon games. Now, before you go and start bashing me over the head, Silver, I get it. You intended this to be a retelling. However, this can either be a good or bad thing to some viewers. In the cases I've been through, it can be good like it was for the interference in how everything was balanced or unique enough for it to stand on its own. Or it could be bad like Pika's Tomb Powered Up, in which it was a straightforward retelling without much to make it different. In this case, I can see a sort of middle ground, only because of the lack of updates to it. Regardless, I personally find it enjoyable since it fills in details not exactly explained in the games. But the fact it retells the story may turn some people off. Jeez. You get what I mean, Silver?
I guess. But to be fair, this story is only currently 4 chapters long. 3 if you discount the prologue. I had so much planned to deviate from the original story, like during the Mewtwo arc, which would show up before Jake takes on the Elite Four. Spoiler alert. And the Sevi Islands arc, as well as when we get into the other generations. So, I'm sorry, folks. There will be more deviation eventually, but right now I'm focusing on our triple superhero time stories. After that, I'll make sure to get back to my Pokemon writing, and possibly finish up a few of my other projects.
And from what I've seen, I wouldn't mind dropping in to help out with them as well. But enough of that. We're at the point where I get my final scoring for this story. Ready for it, Silver?
Okay, I guess. But remember, if you give me a bad score, I will come after you.
Okay, final analysis. Again, not much to say considering it's incomplete, but from what I've seen and the potential it's got, I'm gonna give this... I'm actually gonna give this an A. Yeah, a straight up A. It's much better than I would have anticipated, but I definitely find this story worthwhile, and the potential it holds just screams the attention it deserves.
Oh, well... Thanks, Senpai. I'm honestly really flattered.
Hey, any eyeball of mine deserves some mention on this show at least once. And I've reviewed enough of Pika's works for a while, so reviewing one of your picks was a breath of fresh air, especially since I didn't have a say in this, despite me wanting to help. In all seriousness though, Silver has worked really hard on this story, what I've read and heard. And with the lack of reviews, I seriously think you guys should go and check it out right now, review it, give him the reviews and constructive criticism he'd need to get this going when our triple superhero time concludes.
Yep, Pokemon is something that runs deep in my video game history. And I owe it to not only this franchise, but also Blinks, Pac-Man, and even Oddworld for making me the gamer I am today. May Pokemon never falter.
Glad to hear that. And glad you can join me for Pokevember, Kohai. Well, this brings us close to the end of Pokevember, folks. Tune in next week when I finish off Pokevember with our final Pokemon fanfic review. And thanks again, Silver. Unexpected visit, but a welcome one nonetheless.
Glad to be here, Senpai. Though, next time, make sure to let me know when you have a Pokemon next time, okay?
Will do, Kohai. Oh, I just realized. Forgot to set this up somewhere. Let's see. I suppose I could just stick it right. Well, that looks good for now. Yeah, I think so.
Now, about my other fan, that Super Sentai Cross Common Actor.
Mr. Anxious much? Ugh. Apparently he didn't get my rules. But for when this is up, it's on the list! Anyway, as I said, tune in next time, Mina, as we finish off Pokevember. And until then, I'm KKD Silver. Johnny. Now, to finally get to playing this bad boy. Oh, so excited, I can't wait. Oh, memory lane, here I go! Pokemon!
Senpai? He completely cut me off. What a drag. Hey, what's that over there?
Huh?
Senpai must have left this when he disconnected. That gives me an idea.